Welcome to Joshua Tree National Park.
Hi, everybody. My name is Eden. I'm a USA based digital nomad traveling around the country with my dog Melvin. In today's episode, I'll be taking a solo trip to Joshua Tree National Park. And a quick note on dogs in the park, dogs are not allowed on the trails, but they can go on the dirt roads, on paved walkways, and within 100 feet of the roadways. My first stop on this trip was to Geology Tour Road. This is an 18-mile drive on a dirt road that requires a 4x4 vehicle. This area of the park is not nearly as busy as most other sections of the park due to the fact that this is on a dirt road and, of course, that you will need a 4x4 vehicle. When you first pull onto Geology Tour Road, there's a small parking area and a sign with some information about the roadway. There's a map there as well. And in the box just to the side, there's supposed to be additional maps, but they are not always restocked.
All right, so we're on Geology Tour Road, and as I expected, it's pretty. The road it's flat, but it's got the tire tread marks, so it makes it a very bumpy ride, and it's very loud because it makes your car shake and rattle, which my pup back there is probably not real excited about. So I'm probably going to do like a mile or two of Geology Tour Road, and then I'm going to turn around and just kind of check it out for today, and then I'll probably come back later on this week when Melvin is not with me. I'll spare him from all the noise and rattling. But yeah, so far it's cool. It's really beautiful out here.
So this is what the first several miles of Geology Tour Road look like. And after a couple miles, maybe it was just a mile or so, you'll come across this parking area and there's a trail here. I believe this trail is one of the backcountry trails. You can see there's a trailhead kind of going in both directions. Again, Melvin wasn't allowed on those trails, but he is allowed on the dirt roads. So we decided to take a walk and do a little exploring.
Okay, so I am starting off at Hall of Horrors. This is supposed to be a popular place for rock climbing. I am not rock climbing, but there's also some slot canyons that are fun to explore. So we're gonna go check out the slot canyons.
This is what the trail looks like as you're coming from the parking lot. You're going to take this trail towards that big pile of boulders up ahead, at which point you'll have a fork in the trail. You can either go left or right, doesn't matter, it's kind of a loop. So I went left and just started exploring and climbing over all of the giant boulders and rocks. As I mentioned earlier, Hall of Horrors is most popular for its slot canyons, but if you don't know where they are, they can be a little bit hard to find. So I spent about an hour or so just exploring on my own, hoping that I would find them. I found a couple little kind of small slot canyons, but they certainly weren't the ones that I had seen online before. So I actually ended up going home and then having to come back and try and find the slot canyons a second time. During my second visit, I was able to find the slot canyons right away. This is the first one, and I love the orange color of the walls there. It's really pretty. This is the second one, which I actually enjoyed exploring a little bit more. It might not be good if you're claustrophobic. It's a little bit of a tight squeeze. This is what the inside looks like once you get to the end, and that's what the top looks like before you have to turn around. And not a very graceful exit there, but Hall of Horrors was really fun. I would definitely do this again. Next up is Cap Rock, which you can see sitting atop those boulders right there. I believe it's called Cap Rock because it sort of resembles a baseball cap, but I could be wrong. After you finish checking out the rock formations, you can head over to the right where the Cap Rock Loop Trail begins. This is a 0.4 mile loop trail around the immediate area. You'll find different signs with information about various plants and animals in the desert. My next stop was the Barker Dam Loop Trail. This is a 1.1 mile loop trail that heads out to Barker Dam. During the spring months, you can occasionally see water near the dam area, but during my visit in February, there was no water near the dam. This is what the dam looks like once you reach the far end of the loop trail. And this is what the other side of the dam looks like, and you can see there's no water here. To be completely honest with you, if you're short on time in the park, I would skip this one. The best part of this trail was the petroglyphs, which you can see here up in that little cave area. This is located towards the end of the loop trail. But honestly, if you don't have a lot of time, I would skip this one. And next is one of the park's biggest attractions and one of the easiest to get to, which is Skull Rock. Generally, this area is very, very crowded, but I got up early today.
I tried to get here for sunrise this morning, but I got up a little bit too late. So the first stop this morning was Skull Rock. I was trying to beat the crowds, and when I got here, there were like 2 other people here, but they left right when I got here. And now it's about 15 minutes later and there's a whole bunch of people here. So I recommend getting here either just before sunrise or like right at sunrise if you want to beat the crowds.
And this is what Skull Rock looks like, and people like to take photos here. Obviously, it's kind of a cute little photo spot, but the surrounding area is really cool as well. You'll find all kinds of rocks and boulders to climb on, and it's really, really pretty here right as the sun is rising. And this is one of my favorite areas of the park, especially in the very early morning hours. Next up is Arch Rock and the Arch Rock Nature Trail. And the Arch Rock Trail is just under a mile at 0.8 miles. And it starts out as like an out and back hike, and then there's a very short loop at the very end, and it's on the loop section where you'll find Arch Rock. And I've read that sometimes Arch Rock can be hard to find as it's a bit off the trail, so we'll see.
Okay, so I was just thinking, I don't know how people get lost on this trail because it seemed pretty well marked. And then I came to an area where the trail goes in 2 different directions, and then the marking gets a little less obvious. So I just saw a sign that said Heart Rock is this way, so I'm gonna go that way. No idea where Arch Rock is. We'll figure that out in a bit, I guess. So you can actually see Heart Rock right over there. So I guess we'll do this first, and then turn around and go try and find Arch Rock.
So this is Heart Rock, which, as you might imagine, is a very popular place to get photos. You'll find Heart Rock about maybe 1/10 or 0.2 miles off of the Arch Rock Loop Trail. You'll see plenty of signs pointing towards Heart Rock. You honestly can't miss it.
Okay, so I'm headed back away from Heart Rock, and I'm going to try and find Arch Rock. Let's see how long this takes me.
So things started out pretty promising. I was just following the posted signs back towards the Arch Rock Loop Trail, but unfortunately things took a turn for the worse.
Okay, so I've been walking around for about 20 minutes or so, and I found a whole bunch of other people who are also walking around trying to find Arch Rock, and none of us can find it, so I'm gonna kind of call it a day today and then try and go home and see if I can get better directions to the rock and then come back tomorrow.
Okay, so shortly after that, I ran into a group of hikers who helped me find Arch Rock, but I decided to come back again the next day as well, early in the morning, and I'm really glad that I did because Arch Rock is really, really beautiful in the early morning light.
Next up is Cholla Cactus Garden, and this is basically a big field with these cute little Cholla cactus all over the place.
And Cholla Cactus Garden is a really popular place to come for sunrise. The early morning sunlight makes the fuzzy Cholla cactus glow, and it's really, really pretty, and it's a great spot to be if you want to get some photos. And the last stop on my Joshua Tree solo trip was to Keys View. Keys View is the perfect place to be to watch the sunset at the end of the day. You can see all the way out to the mountains and sometimes out to the Salton Sea. And be sure to arrive at least 30 to 45 minutes before sunset, otherwise the parking lot will fill up and you will not be able to park.